Guardian Tales just got ported to the Nintendo Switch and no one is talking about it. If you're confused, you're the problem. Guardian Tales is a free-to-play gacha game but got recently ported to the Nintendo Switch. It's actually the first mobile game I've ever used with a controller. I found it way back when Call of Duty Mobile said that they were going to have controller support, but it was taking a little bit longer than we thought it would. The controller settings for this game were so fleshed out that I thought there had to be a console port somewhere. Well, 2 years later, here we are. Hello world and all who inhabit it, it is I, the Great Saiyaran, and today you're gonna hear me gush about the Switch port of Guardian Tales. This game dropped out of nowhere. I was on YouTube and just randomly saw Nintendo post a Guardian Tales trailer. I instantly got hyped. I've been playing Guardian Tales on and off for 2 years, but there was a point where I was playing this game daily and got pretty far into this massive story. I got distracted by Call of Duty Mobile and Genshin Impact, another free-to-play gacha mobile game we're still waiting to be ported to the Switch. So I fell off the grind, but my Android account has a bunch of progress. I can't move over to my Switch account, but we'll talk about that later. I actually played through this game twice as I picked it up on my iPhone a couple months back. This game is massive like I said, so most of that progress is still on that Android account. Playing through the story for a third time is still pleasant. And since it is a gacha game with different heroes and weapons, my combinations this playthrough have been different from any before. Guardian Tales is an action role-playing video game developed by Kong Studios and published by Keiko Games. At least I hope it's pronounced Keiko Games. The game initially soft launched in parts of Southeast Asia in February of 2020 for iOS and Android, and then officially launched in July for the rest of the world. You play as a fresh graduate at night when all of a sudden these invaders come and destroy your kingdom. Pretty standard so far. And your main goal is to save the world. This is one of those games where the journey is definitely more important than the destination. The writing is witty and the level design is actually pretty good. So experience in this game is a lot different from the save the princess vibes that it initially gives off. Characters have a lot of personality. Most are pretty sassy, which creates some really funny moments. The amount of wacky and surprising things that happen in the main story definitely keep you invested. Side quests and storylines though is definitely where this game shines. Guardian Tales pokes fun at everything from Facebook and Amazon to The Legend of Zelda. The pop culture references are abundant, and when you unlock one of the many side quests, you can experience even more of these silly situations. The gacha mechanic doesn't really get in the way. You can pull for characters or equipment, and right now to celebrate the Switch launch, they're giving away 100 free summons. I ended up with 2 3-star heroes that I never used before, so I added them to my party and they're making this third playthrough a breeze. This finna be a breeze. Remember when he was funny?
First day on the yard, this finna be a breeze. Big fella, why you on the yard? I am still on hard.
Yeah. I also got some great weapons like a bow whose special ability was to rain arrows from the sky. But you know me, I'm not a ranged type of guy. So I swapped it out for a sword that shoots lightning when I get close to enemies. The bow was stronger, but the sword fit my playstyle better. I just leveled it up and then boom, I'm a swordsman now. The weapon hero combinations are endless, but that's only part of the gameplay experience. I've only played Guardian Tales with a controller, so I don't really know how it compares to the touch control. But compared to the mobile controls, the Switch controls are much more refined. The controls are simple. You have a run button, an attack button, and an action button that as you complete more and more of the story, you'll get more of. Like a hookshot for traversal or a gauntlet that allows you to pick up those really heavy bombs. Between the easy controls, beautiful graphics and animations, and amazing music, this feels like a regular Nintendo Switch game. It's no wonder it took 2 years to port. It is free to play, so there are ways to spend actual real world money, but I've never had to after 2 years and really had to hunt to find the shop to see if there was anything worth buying in there anyway. The world is split into 2 major parts. The first is your home base where you can build a nice town for your unused heroes to hang out while your main party goes on missions. The second is the world map where you go from mission to mission, getting closer to saving the world. As you progress, you unlock more gameplay modes like dungeons you have to beat within a certain time period, or completely made up side worlds with stories that have nothing to do with the main story but have all the quality of the main game. My favorite being this quirky story about a Japanese high school and your rise to popularity in it. This game has a lot of content and it can be overwhelming, but the individual levels themselves don't take that long to beat. If you just want to beat the enemies and get to the end, it'll take about 5 minutes. But if you're like me and you want to explore everything, save everyone, and solve every puzzle, then it's gonna take closer to 10 minutes. This makes it a great wind down game. Clearing a few dungeons every night before bed and getting a good chuckle out of the story has become a part of my routine every night ever since this game came to Switch, along with other things. Obviously, I really like this game, but there are a few things that I would do differently with this port, namely cross progression. I have a bunch of hours of progress on my Android account, and it would have been nice to move that over to my Switch. In fact, I assumed that you could until I went to my settings and realized there was no place to log in or carry any data over. My Nintendo and Google Play Store accounts are the same email, so it would have been great to carry everything over, but this game was apparently made by Nintendo and Kong Studios, so I guess that wasn't really their priority. Also, it always being online is kind of frustrating. There are online elements like guilds, PvP, and PvE, but I mostly play this game for the single player. Though the port isn't perfect, it's still great to see this amazing game get into the hands of more and more people. It already has a devoted community, and I'm excited to see that expand. If you're looking for your next game to obsess over, you can't go wrong. Try it. It's free. You know what else is free? A like, comment, sub, all that good stuff. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.